Hi friends, it's Brittany the Good Papyrus. How are you? I'm so excited you're here with me today. Today I'm going to talk about a topic that now excites me. It used to scare me. It is what I love to journal about and how I love to do it, especially when I'm traveling. So this is the Traveler's journal that I've been working in, that I created for Little Cayman Island, and I had some incredible experiences. So today I want to talk to you about what I love to journal about, how I like to do it, and hopefully give you inspiration and make you not so afraid to journal in your Traveler's journal. So let's get started. So the first thing that I love to write about in my travel journal is the trip there. So maybe this was a complete and total adventure in itself. I've done a lot of travel. Maybe I am a bit of a black cloud, but I always seem to have some crazy adventure. And so what I journal about here is how I accidentally left my dive knife in my carry-on bag and how my precious dive knife got confiscated, and that was just the beginning of this trip. So yes, I absolutely love journaling about and keeping memories from the trip there, the trip back. You'll see this little ephemera that I have. I'm not doing a full flip through of this journal today because we're just focusing on the journaling part of it. Okay, the second thing that I love journaling about are the basic details of the country that you're visiting. These are details you might forget over time, so it's nice to go back and refresh your memory. I like listing coordinates, the capital, population, language, maybe some other geographic details. I usually like to do this at the beginning of the journal under a map. Instead, I utilized actually a plane with the prop cut out because I love the, I don't know, I just like when you can alter a picture to size it down but kind of give more emphasis on the little details. So here I have the location, coordinates, archipelago, the Greater Antilles, territory of the UK actually, and the population as of 2021, the population was 161. And as we go through this journal, you'll see I journaled a lot about the place itself. It's just very unique. That's like really desolate. But it's absolutely beautiful, and it's truly a place to get away. So number 3, I like journaling about the food I ate. I am a big foodie, and we went out to a restaurant, which actually was the only restaurant on the island, believe it or not. We went to this place and somehow we ended up getting Indian food. It was absolutely fantastic. So here I have a picture of the drinks we got, the naan, the curry. I put, so we loved our trip to the Hungry Iguana. It is the only restaurant on the entire island. We actually tried to go the day before and it turns out they were closed. Little island problems. We rode our bikes there only to see the "We are closed" sign. We were so disappointed. We finally were able to go. We got our cocktails, a dumpling. We ordered what we ordered, what was on the menu. You actually may want to, if you can't get a menu or anything like that, just go home on Google when you get back from your trip and just print out a menu. Regardless of how little the place is, they almost always have a menu online you can print out. So you can journal about your experience there on the back. The other thing I love journaling about, number 4, is wildlife. Any animals or flora that are native to the area you visited. One thing I love doing when I get home is actually doing some research on the place and what I saw while I was there. So this is one, they have a ching ching, aka the Greater Antillean grackle. And so what I did, I didn't do any journaling myself. We saw these birds everywhere. I found some information that I printed out and just put next to the pictures of the bird itself that I saw, and this is the porch of our Airbnb, and we saw them. They would kind of get up on the porch, and some decor of the porch itself, and it was like a great vantage point if you're a bird watcher. Okay, the other thing, I love this layout. So I'm a big diver. I love diving, and there are quite a few sharks that you can see in Little Cayman. We were privileged enough to see one. I think it was a Caribbean reef shark. But what I did was I went on Little Cayman's Department of Environment site, and I printed out the sharks. They had all this online, pictures and a list of the sharks that are known to inhabit the island of Little Cayman and the surrounding waters. And I went and I did a little bit of journaling about each shark. So the oceanic white tip, it has a stocky body with a long white tip rounded fins. Obviously that's the characteristic feature. Though slow-moving, it is opportunistic and maybe aggressive. It is reputed to be dangerous to shipwreck survivors. This whole story behind this. You know, sharks are pretty, in terms of the dangers we face, shark is probably low to the list. The scalloped hammerhead shark. It is easily distinguished from the other hammerheads by the central indentation on the anterior margin of the head, obviously. So I won't bore you with these. I think sharks are so fascinating. The whale shark. The whale shark is a slow-moving, which I would have lost my you-know-what if the day I see a whale shark, life will be complete. Filter feeding carpet shark is the largest known extant fish species. The largest confirmed individual had a length of 61.7 feet. 61.7 feet. They inhabit the open waters of the tropical oceans. Their lifespans are estimated to be between 80 and 130 years. And there are so many other incredible features of these sharks, but just to show you some of the wildlife and you know, flora that you can document, write about. It doesn't necessarily have to be something you saw, or maybe you saw it and when you go home you research it and you learn about it and journal about it there, and you can look back, and it almost makes the journal not just for reflective purposes, but like an educational experience for you and anyone who actually looks in this. So the next is customs and traditions. Any customs, traditions, beliefs, or celebrations that take place annually. This wasn't really applicable to where I was. Maybe we missed it. There wasn't really anyone to talk to there. I wouldn't know. So I skipped that one. Number 7, activities or adventures. So we specifically went to Little Cayman to dive. The reef is it's incredibly extensive. I would be remiss if I didn't include this information about the coral gardens that we saw, and just some incredible things. So here I just learned a little bit about the tropical fish that we saw on our dive. They were everywhere. They were beautiful. I included a little bit of information about Bloody Bay Marine Park, Bloody Bay Wall. Most of the dive sites in Little Cayman are a part of Bloody Bay. We were greeted by a stingray, a shark. Here I have a notebook. I'm going to journal a little bit more about our dive. So as a diver, we keep a lot of information. We keep information about the dives themselves, what we saw on it, anything that went right, went wrong, anything we struggled with, anything we thought we did really well. We record our max depth, amount of air we have to start, the amount of air we finish with, and kind of the profile in terms of the depth. So throughout the dive. So I'm going to be including all of that information. I just have to go, that's what I was going to write on the back of these photographs. I just have to go back into my dive log and gather that information. Obviously not all of you dive, but that's just an example of, in terms of adventures and things that you may do when you're on a trip. Just the information may seem mundane, a little mundane, those statistics, but if you're doing something where you can get numbers like that and write it down, it kind of means more looking back on it. It's not as, when you're looking back on the activity, it's not as, I don't know what the word is, but you know what I mean. It's even more special, kind of takes you back to your trip. So 8, was there anything that surprised you about your trip? So the thing that surprised me greatly was how few people there were on the island. So I took a photograph. Every beach we went to, we were kind of by ourselves. There really wasn't anyone else around, so I journaled about that. I absolutely couldn't believe how small and desolate the island was. Apparently only about 100 to 150 people lived there. By the end of our trip, I felt like we had already met everyone on the island. Everyone we ran into, we had already either met at the airport or on the dive charter while we were out and about. It has to be hard to live there given how few resources there are and how expensive everything was. Our Airbnb hosts even had their own well and generated their own electricity, which I thought was pretty neat and novel. Okay, 9, what are the best memories you made with the people or the person you went with? If you adventured solo, props to you. What did you learn about yourself while traveling? 10, I still have to include this, but what do you wish you would have packed that you didn't? I have a lot of things on my list because there literally was a really small store the size of maybe a Circle K gas station with or like a Wawa, for those who don't have Circle K, with some meat in addition, and that was it. So really, if you didn't pack it, you didn't have access to it. So I have kind of a long list. I'll do a little bit more journaling about that. 11, what were some challenges you faced? We take a lot of things for granted. Even though it can be frustrating at times to not have the same amenities, I think it makes us more grateful and allows us, even if only briefly, to experience a more simplistic life and just be present. I'm going to want to do a little bit more thinking and journaling about that. 12, what was the weather like? Just journaling a weekly forecast or a tide chart can be cool. So I actually found you can go back retroactively and find weather forecasts, and I was also able to go on some marine/nautical site and look back and find a tide chart for the week that we were there, which was really cool. The issue we had was our first couple of days there got canceled. Our dives got canceled because of the incredible wind. And the conditions were quite rough, so we were able to finally get out and go, but it was kind of rough. So here's our tide chart. Maybe I'll put like the currents and whatever other information. Maybe I'll journal a little bit about the weather, the crazy winds, but this was a tide chart from the day, the 24th, that we actually went diving. All right, number 13, transportation. How did you get around? Since the island I was staying on was so small, we actually only rented a car for one day to go up and down the island. For the rest of the trip, we rode these like really rickety bikes. It was quite the sight. It was very challenging. Riding uphill into the wind. I didn't feel bad at all for not making it to the gym that week. We got quite the workout on those rickety bikes, and actually when we got there the chains were totally seized. You couldn't even paddle them, so we had to WD-40 the chains at least once or twice. It was wild, so I journaled about that. I can't manage to find, maybe I didn't mark it. It was absolutely wild, those rickety bikes. What a workout. Oh my gosh. Here it is. This is us riding our bikes. It was wild. Okay, and my honeyboo, I put vacation crush. Don't tell anyone. Okay, song playlist and a book playlist. Book list, favorites while you were on your trip. I did read 2 books, so I have to add that. I'll add some of my favorite songs, even though they're old songs. They're not like reflective of the current time. It might be more relevant if they were. If you want to get fancy, you can take snapshots online of song albums and book covers and downsize them and put them on a little chain I was thinking about doing. Or you could do, like if it's a book, you could put downsize the front and the back cover and put really little pages in between and almost journal in the book about your trip. I thought that would be really cool. You could even add it onto the back of a tassel. That, you know, you could do a removable tassel, which if you haven't ever heard of a removable tassel, I did make one, a removable bookmark tassel a few months ago. I can link that and put that in the description box, or you could just make a standard tassel by puncturing the cover here. That could make a tassel. This isn't a tassel, this is just a little beer cap I made out of the famous beer of Little Cayman white tip lager, and I filled this with hot glue, put some seed beads, put some more hot glue over top, and just put a little turtle there to hang out, and I'm totally digging it. Okay, 15. This is the last one I have, and I haven't journaled about this. I'm gonna probably reserve this like end page to do this. I want to do some more thinking, but 15 is, how has this trip changed you? How has it inspired you? Has it given you the travel bug to go somewhere else? What did you think about it? So these are the prompts that I came up with that I thought were really meaningful to me, at least based on where I went. I found some really good sites with extensive lists of travel prompts, and I would like to include that in the description box below. Some of them kind of overlap with what we talked about, but a lot of them are more, there's a ton of them, and some of them are a bit more in depth about kind of the day-to-day minutia of your vacation if you're really looking to do a daily journal for when you're traveling. So I hope this inspired you. I hope this got you going, got the wheels turning. You're thinking about maybe what you would write in your travel journal, even though, you know, some of it may seem mundane. I promise you, you'll really appreciate it when you pick up that journal a few years from now and see some nitty-gritty stuff you thought was kind of meaningless at the time. It'll mean a whole lot more, and it'll really help bring back some memories of your trip that hopefully memories that'll last a lifetime. So write them down, don't hesitate. If you found value in this and if you liked it, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I can't wait to see you the next time.